You want to build wealth for your kids, but you only have $50 a month. And you want to know, is that enough to actually change their future? If you wait until you're rich to start, you're robbing them of time. Every month you sit out is compound interest you'll never get back. I'm a father of 5, a union forklift driver. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth, but I used the family CEO framework to make small, consistent payments, which has allowed me to turn that into a real legacy for my kids. There's a specific small cap strategy that can turn consistent payments into 6 figures for your kids by the time they're grown. I'm breaking down the exact funds I buy for my kids right now.
This is where we elevate fatherhood. It's time to build better dads.
The wait and see trap. A lot of dads wait for some big windfall to happen before they can start investing because they don't think $50 is enough or you can do it with $50. So they're waiting for a tax refund, which is nothing wrong with that, or some big bonus at work or winning the lottery or something to happen. No, you can start investing today, next pay period, with just $50, but it has to be automated. That's the secret sauce. That's the secret sauce to investing. That's the secret sauce to saving, but that's the secret sauce to investing. You have to automate the process. That means getting with your HR, or even if you work for a company and you are able to do it yourself with the app on your phone, or you have to go to HR and have it automatically deducted the $50 a month, 25 out of this check, 25 out of the next check. Or if one check is real tight, then the other check is a little bit, got a little more wiggle room, $50 out of that check. That's how you do it. Not waiting for some big thing to happen and now you can do it. No. Because like I said before, every month you wait is compound interest that you're losing. Every month you wait, you're losing money. Plain and simple. To put it plain and simple, no whole bunch of college or, educated talk. You're losing money every month you wait. It has to be a daily sacrifice shift. So you've got to be willing to cut out some of the things that you don't need. And I'm going to tell you an app that you need to get. It's called the Rocket Money app, or anything kind of like that, or any app that's like that. You need to have that app on your phone. That's an app you need to buy. Now, some of the other apps and subscriptions you got to get rid of, but that's starting off the daily sacrifice. Putting this app on your phone is going to save you a lot of money, and it's going to put your habits in your face.
Damn, I'm buying too many shoes and ordering takeout too much.
It's going to show you what doing. And until I did it myself, I didn't recognize or realize exactly what the hell all the money you're spending. You don't realize all the money you're spending. If you want, we can break down the Rocket Money app. Put down in the comments. I want you to do a whole video on the Rocket Money app. But right now, I'm just showing you where this money can come from. And this app can help you. Now, we can look under, I'm under mines now. I'm being transparent. Under drinks and dinner. This month alone, me, Ramon Weatherall, Build Your Better Dad, CEO, guy, everybody that's trying to help you, I have spent $177.54 on food, takeout food.
I know I should be investing this money for the kids, but look at this thing. They'll forgive me eventually, right?
Restaurant, the cafeteria at work, Overs, McDonald's, Jersey Mike's, McDonald's, JJ. Come on, man. $177. The 14th. Now, some of these times I went half with my wife on some of these lunches, but still, that's my vice. I work third shift. I go, I come home, I don't eat. I want some lunch. That's my vice. But this is too much money that I'm spending. And I guarantee you, if you get this app on your phone, you'll see somewhere, it might not be lunch, it might be shopping, it might be something. So you gotta cut the spending from somewhere, because I was listening I was listening to this podcast and it said that 90% of your spending power in your lifetime is going to depreciate. So the dollar that you spend right now, it's going to be 90% less in your lifetime. So if you think just making money and just saving money is enough, it's not. If you really want to help your kids, you need to invest. You need your money to make money, because you just making money on its own is not enough, because inflation is just eating that money up. So you need compound interest. You need interest. You need interest, and investing is the best way to do that. Now let's talk about what you need to invest in, because that's what you're watching the video for. The Legacy Framework, the simple path to wealth. If you haven't read that book, you need to read that book. But this is where it all starts. The total stock index. Now, some people might use a mutual fund, but if you only got $50 a month, you're not starting with a mutual fund. You're starting right here, because it only costs $1 for you to start investing. It only costs you $1 to open up this account, to put money into this ETF. It only costs $1, and you got $50. So you can do this. That's the answer to your question right there. But it's not time to turn off the video. I'm going to show you how to do it, why you should be doing it. Okay. Now, an ETF in working man, blue collar terminology is just an ETF trades just like a stock. So it trades all day. A mutual fund, it only trades once a day. Okay. And this ETF is passively managed. So it's only overseen. It just follows an algorithm. It just follows an algorithm. It just follows the leader. It just follows another index. This Vanguard ETF just follows that. And inside this ETF, there are 43 to 4,300 holdings. And the holdings are publicly traded companies. So when you own this ETF, you own an ETF that has 4,300 companies inside of it. So honestly, a lot of people who don't have a lot of risk tolerance, or kind of skeptical about things, you could honestly stop right there. You could put your $50 a month right in the Vanguard VTI account or any total stock index ETF from Fidelity, Charles Schwab, I don't know, wherever you want to, you can stop right there. But we're not stopping right there. But if you want to know more about this index, this ETF, I want to show you like the holdings, which are some of the companies. So right here, it shows the sectors that it's invested in, and it shows you how much they're invested in. So you even got real estate in here. You got healthcare, you got finance, you got energy, breaks it all down, technology. So you can see where the holdings and where they're investing in this total stock index, in this total stock ETF. But the thing about an ETF, it's ran by an algorithm. So right now, some of the most biggest companies in the world, you got Google, you got Amazon, things like that. But maybe 20 years ago, you might have had IBM in here, but it's probably not in here now. That's the great thing about an ETF. That's the great thing about this total stock index or any really efficient index, is that it's the front runner. It's the companies that are doing well that it's going to invest in most. And that's what you want. You want to be a front runner when it comes to your money. Now, when it comes to being a sports fan, no, but when it comes to your investing, you want to be a front runner. And that's what good indexes do. And one of the most important parts, this is the return for the year. So it's not having that great of a year so far, year to date, but that's when you want to invest, because over the years, you can see 10 years, almost 13% return. But one of the most important things you want to know when it comes to investing is the expense ratio. The expense ratio is all the fees that they charge you to run this total Vanguard total stock index. It's what they charge you to run this thing. It's the average expense ratio for a similar fund is 0.7.2%. This one is 0.03%. And you know where the fees from this expense ratio come from? Your return. So you want this number to be as low as possible. And it's pretty damn low. So that's where you want to start. If you got $50 a month, 75, 80% needs to be going right here. Now, legacy framework, we add the secret sauce. The total stock index, having that, or you can use the S&P 500. Doesn't matter, but you add small cap value. And some people say, well, why would you add that? Because total stock index has some small cap, but it doesn't have a lot of small cap value. And small cap value, if this is for your children, has outperformed some of the S&P 500s, total stock indexes of the world. And maybe not by a lot, but that little bit that you get, like right now, if you looked at the total returns, the VTI was at 0.25. Right now, the returns for the small cap value ETF is 6.75. So right now, if you got some of this, you're winning. You don't have to have a lot of it, but having some of it is important. And like I said, you can start investing in this for $1. $1. It's an ETF. The difference between an ETF and a mutual fund is this, is the dollar that it costs, and a mutual fund might start at $1,000 because it's actively managed. This isn't. It's passively managed, and it's just following an algorithm also. So again, the expense ratio, look at this. The average expense ratio similar in a similar fund is 1.09. This one is 0.05. That's the important thing you want to know. Most people just want to look at the returns. Oh man, no. You want to look at what you're being charged. You want to, because like I said, those fees are coming out of your return. You want this number to be as low as possible. Here again, we look at where the money is allocated, where a lot of the holdings going to. Consumer discretionary is just goods and services, automobiles, aero, entertainment. That's where 13.9% of the holdings are into that. But you got industrial, you got, again, real estate. So some people say, man, you're in real estate. If you own the VTI and you own small cap value, you're in real estate already. So that's the secret sauce. This is the secret sauce. Owning, it could be just 10%. So if you got $40, $40 in the VTI and $10 in the small cap value, the VBR small cap value. I use Vanguard. I like Vanguard. I mean, it's probably, to me, it's one of the best brokerages, but you could use something else, but I use Vanguard. And these are the two ETFs that I use. These are the two ETFs that I use to help build a legacy for my children. And this is not something that I'm giving to them at 21. This is something that I'm giving to them later in their lives, in their 40s, in their 50s. Because let's keep it real. When I was 21 or 31, I probably would have blew any money that somebody would have gave me. People don't reach their financial intelligence peak until they're 54 for the most part. And some people never do. But see how late that is? So if you give somebody money at 21, hell, they got 30, they got 30 more years. They got 30 years to blow it. And no. So, and with investing, the longer you're in, the better. So you want to know if you can really do this with only $50 a month. And a lot of times you get discouraged because we see content like this.
Somebody's watching and all they have in savings is $2,500. That's all that they can afford. They gone through a divorce. Their mama died. They got laid off. They trying to make a comeback from COVID. They have $2,500. That's all that they got, Aristotle, not in checking, in their savings account. You're advising and coaching them to do what with that $2,500?
You have to come up with a plan to deposit money into an account every month. It doesn't matter. I think so. I'll tell you what the number was for me. I had 9,000 saved, and I said I was going to put in $400 a month, and I think it was a 30% return. In 15 years, that account was going to be at $1 million. From starting with 9, depositing $400 a month with a 30% return. So how do we get this 30%?
Aristotle, you done gone too fast. I need y'all to type that. It's $400 a month. Is that what you said?
Yes.
$400 a month for 15 years.
For 15 years, consistently putting in $400 a month.
Here's the problem with that. He said a lot of good things. And I mean, I watched this interview and he did, the brother Aristotle, he said a lot of good things. But here's the problem with that. This is why these guys, they always do this. And this is why you need to come here so we can do this together the right. A 30% return. I just showed you the average returns that you were getting from the Vanguard VTI and Vanguard VBR. None of them came close to 30% return. And you want to know if you can do it with $50 a month. He said you had to do at least $400 a month. No, you don't. No, you don't. This is money that you're talking about for your kids. So I guess that was money he was talking about for himself, but still, we get discouraged when we hear these things. And you know how he's getting this 30% returns? He's timing the market. If you go on to listen the interview, which Jamal Bryant did, and he didn't really understand what he was saying, but saying he was going to take classes and learn from him. And the only reason he heard of him is because his kids told him about him. So now his kids, Jamal Bryant, are listening to this guy say how he can get 30% returns from timing the market. Now he just might be able to. He might be able to. But are you going to be able to do that? The working guy working 40, 50, 60 hours a week. You got time to time the market. You got time to look at all kind of information from the stock. No, you don't. And also on top of that, he was buying individual stocks. So he looks at the S&P 500, sees that it's down. Then he goes out and buys individual stocks. No, we're not doing that. This is a buy and hold dollar cost average system. That means you buy it and you invest until you are put in a pine box, until there is no more. And then you leave that to your beneficiaries, to your children. And you can set that all up in your brokerage account that you have beneficiaries and and you can break it up into percentages. Who gets what and how much? Because you don't have to waste time trying to time the market. You seen the returns on the VTI. It was down. This is the time to put money in. You put money in whether it's up or it's down. The stock market is volatile in short terms, in short periods, but it's not in long periods. You seen that, 10 years, what the returns were for the V, it's like almost 13%. So it's this information that you get a lot of times that discourages you and tells you can get all these high returns. That's the risky stuff. That's trying to time the market. Yeah. Look, great. You probably can do this, Aristotle. The fact that you can teach somebody else, I doubt it. Because there's some people that you're not going to. So that's not a formula that the legacy framework that we use. I showed you what the legacy framework is. It is a buy and hold, dollar cost average system, buying ETFs. Number one, a total stock ETF that you can invest with start investing with $1, 4 quarters, and then also a small cap value ETF with a low expense ratio that you can also start to invest with $1. All
right, y'all. Following the Family CEO framework, I'm putting $50 a month into VTI and VBR for the kids' future.
If you want a full list of financial skills and just skills that every young man and hell, even your daughters could use, go grab my free ebook. It's the links in the description. The Unbreakable Son, the 10 fundamental skills to make your son invincible. The 10 fundamental skills that he needs and that she needs to help them become rock stars to do this. And you now have the information to help sustain and provide for them even when you're gone. So, hey, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And I'm out of here. Peace.